After a single day's break back at their main stables, the wrestlers, minus Takayasu with his latest lower back complaint, resumed the tour in Koga, Ibaraki, not that far north of Tokyo. There, Hoshoryu appeared for the first time this month for a light training introduction, and told the gathered press pack, "I'd felt something off with my toe going into July. I just didn't know the bone had been cracked. The problem has basically healed. Only minor pain remains, and I hope it's plain sailing from now on. I was told by the doctor on Monday just not to push things at first." On his 2 withdrawals from 3 meets since Yokozuna promotion, he added, "I think I've been getting injured because I'm too desperate to take the cup. That's not the real Hoshoryu, who I now intend to bring back. I reproach myself for not noticing how I was getting dragged off course. To start with, let's get this rusty body moving again." His master, Tatsunami, the event manager yesterday, said, "September's the moment of truth, and he knows that most of all. But even if September fails, no one will call for him to quit." The reception he got yesterday proves most fans want to see much more. His fellow Yokozuna Onosato also confessed to conducting ring rust removal, in his words, through doing the basics thoroughly. He added, "I've recovered from my tournament fatigue and am ready to up the pace bit by bit. I'm conscious of my leading sumo role and want to perform it properly." Asked about record rainfall and floods in his native Ishikawa last month, he said, "I confirmed that my family are okay. The tour heads there in just over 2 weeks' time, so I hope I can inspire the locals through these tough moments." Aonishiki, who hurt his left shoulder last month, fought his first 5 practice bouts of the tour. His comment was, "Those were my first matches in ages, and it's clear my body is way off the pace. My movement today was not as I'd hoped. But I've got a long tour ahead to get myself back in shape, put on extra pounds, and get even stronger." Asked about his 4th attempt at surviving a Japanese summer, he said, "I confess I'm still not adjusting too well to all this humidity that we simply don't have in Ukraine, and I get sunburnt easily too." He's mortified about missing out on the title just contested, of course, but his master has reassured him by saying it's simply a question of stamina. "I can't get hung up on July forever," the blue-eyed heartthrob continued. "I've got to always look forward, else I'll never rise up the chart." One man who joined him on 11 wins last month, Atamifuji, hurled himself around against the likes of Wakamoto Haru, Hiradomi, and Oshoma in Koga. Since Monday, he's joined Shodai, Sadanomi, and Abi as standards enforcers for the current tour, the youngest wrestler ever to be handed such a role, which involves monitoring wrestler dress code, manners, bamboo box transportation and storage, and keeping changing rooms clean. Atami revealed, "I'm really up for this. I'll be strict with enforcing standards to preserve workplace harmony. I've already told a junior not to eat while standing up." On his sumo, after posting his first double figures since 2023, he said, "It's now more about what I do than what my foe does. No matter how much you plan, nothing ever goes perfectly, so it's all about how I react to that. I hope my sumo looks good in September." His colleague Kusano, another 11-win hero last month, fought his first practice bout since then. "I was using that practice to strategize," he said, "and that charging session with Hoshoryu at the end was tough, as he feels heavy to push around. Overall, let's just hope I hold up in this summer heat." Among his growing fanbase can be found ex-NHK and now Abema mic man Yasuo Fuji, who said, "Kusano's raw power and sheer potential is something else. His attacks are so strong, his reactions so fast. Just as we saw against Aonishiki, we think his initial thrusts have stood the guy up, and instead he pulls him back in and throws him off balance some more." Gonoyama, set to return to the upper ranks after 9 wins in July, was quieter in training, but promised to pull his weight henceforth, saying, "I've had a lot of tough times fighting in the upper ranks, so I want my training on this tour to really prepare me for September's travails." He also claims he's taken heart from golfer Miyu Yamashita's triumph in the recent AGI Women's Open, as she hails from his Neagawa hometown. Finally, Shonannoumi, who will rejoin the top tier next month, contested 4 practice bouts and received advice from the day's special guest, Master Nishonoseki, who's an Ibaraki hero. The two tend to work together on Ibaraki tall legs, as other videos have shown. He was telling me how to position my upper body and where to put my feet during attack, Shonannoumi disclosed. Going forward, he added, "I want to expel surplus thoughts from my mind, focus on self-belief, and break out of my shell." Which is some vow at 27.